Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle. Big.
Check it. It's a unique hustle. It's your boy, ECEO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
None, you know my day all going. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. I mean, our Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101 in Google, and all our platforms will pop up. But if you want to see our visuals, which is very important to a lot of people, jump over to our YouTube channel. And we don't only want your subscription, we need your membership, okay? But because y'all always see us on the street and be like, how can we support a brand? Should we buy merch or what should we do? This is what you should do. On each and every video that we have in the description section, there's a section that says to join our membership. Click that link and it takes you through all the different steps.
Man, we got a guy here today, y'all. He don't need no introduction. This guy right here, man, he hails. He's one of the coldest dudes you ever want to run into when it comes down to history of the NWA. This guy right here, you know, and I'm gonna call him the underdog sometime, the most underrated. But if you didn't have him, you wouldn't have a lot of this stuff that happened in the country.
You wouldn't have none of this.
Come
stuff.
on now,
You wouldn't have it.
Say it
ain't
then.
Gonna happen.
It ain't happen. If you're not cut in the cloth, the cloth is not gonna be there.
Right.
There's no way.
Without that seed, you don't get no tree.
Wow, and that's cold, man. And that's one of the things that I love about just interviewing you, because I understand history and I know how important it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people develop it and they turn it, and that's what really people throughout the times have always done.
Dude.
They turn stuff to try to twist people out of the scenario.
Man, you know, it's even amazing when I read articles about West Coast hip hop. According to most of the people that don't look like me, it started with NWA. That's not true. NWA came from someplace else. There was someplace before NWA. There was someplace before Wrecking Crew.
Okay.
Wrecking Crew was a part of that initial seed, but we had a dance era here on the West Coast that was phenomenal. We all are dance promoters. We all are dance DJs.
Yeah.
That's why our music was the way it was. Even the gangster rap was all dance music.
Man.
Okay.
I sit back and I thought about it. I said, man, you know what, man? I seen these guys, kids. You seen them as kids. Mm-hmm. You know if they gangster or not. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know if these guys really street cats or not.
Right.
So when you look at it, Eazy seemed to be the one that, even when the movie come out, he kicks the window in and all
Flies
that.
out the window.
Yeah, and I get it. I remember the 90s, man.
It's a movie.
I'm in the 90s.
Right.
You did have a lot of jacking going on, mm-hmm. battle rams coming through. You had a lot going on during that time.
But see, if you don't know, you don't know. Compton never had a battle ram.
Never had
that
one.
Was the LAPD. Compton always had the Compton PD or the sheriff. Sheriff to have a battle ram.
So that's an additive.
That's an additive. Okay.
So were these guys really, like when you look at Dr. Dre, when you look at Ren, Yella as kids coming up, when you look at all of these boys, even any of these boys, man, was they really like in the streets like that? Because you see them grow up.
You know, just the other day, I was at the Grammy Awards. Ren, Yella, Cube was there, and DOC.
My boy.
Yeah. Okay, DOC was there.
You from Dallas.
And we all kicking it, right? And I wrote my book, NWA, now with Alonzo, available on Amazon.
Wow.
Okay. And in my book, the smallest chapter in my book is about Ren. I don't remember Ren being at my house. So when we were together,
what?
I don't remember him being at my house.
So you saying he's
the same Ren now that he was back then. Quiet, don't hear from him.
You don't hear from him.
Don't hear from him. So if Ren was at my house, he didn't do none of the dumb stuff that everybody else was doing. And he just chilled out and was cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, so you know, when you're a person like that, when you're able to just sit into the situation and be a part of it, but not really stand out. You know, and that was, because I asked him, when was you at my house back? Yeah, Alonzo, I was at your house all the time, but Eazy. I said, I don't remember you, Doc. He said, man, I was there all the time. But again, Yella was doing stuff, Dre was doing stuff, Cube was doing stuff, Eazy was doing stuff. Ren wasn't doing that kind of stuff. And that's his personality. Just like right now, he's the most quietest member of NWA.
Well, when on the movie it shows him getting up and getting active, fighting one of them ones.
In the movie.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it was
keyword in the movie.
He was one of them active boys.
But again, I don't know him like that. I know him from being in NWA.
Reserved.
Be a reserve, cool. Now me, him, and Tupac all same Gemini, same birthday, and we're all different. But Tupac is over the top for everybody. I'm over the top, and Ren is just super chill.
You basically seen these guys again. I'm not gonna let you out this question. Were they gangster? They started gangster music, gangster rap, really, when it come down to it. Them and Ice-T is who I heard. You know what I mean? Really bringing it. Ice-T was playeristic for sure.
Right.
Were they gangsters? Was they?
No, we're not gangsters.
Not at all.
I was the one doing all this shit, going to jail and shooting at folks back in the day. But
you know that makes sense because you was a club.
I was the
club owner.
I'm the club owner. I'm fighting me. I can tell you who the fighters was back in the day. It was Unknown, myself, my boy Roscoe, Wendell, Vince, and they would help sometimes. But when it came front line cats, they weren't front line cats. Okay.
They was the back reserve.
They were support. They were support. Okay, they wasn't front line.
Makes sense because they were younger.
Okay, and at that time, as a grown ass man, I couldn't have youngsters in my business. Everybody I just mentioned is a couple years younger than me, but they just weren't. I just knew they just didn't have certain elements that I needed if it came down to it. And sometimes. Every once in a while, if it was, we get down to the reserves. All right, we pulling up the reserve now. Women and children jump in this shit. So,
But before you jump into anything else, because going back to the movie, I remember there was a section in the movie, and when I was watching it, I was like, okay, what do you think back then? I'm not talking about now. Back then, think about your frame of mind. There was a section where they were all at your house in the studio. I think something happened with DOC, and you were like, "Get that country ass out of here," whatever.
That's what the movie said.
Allegedly, in the movie. So it's like because there's always been a thing for people, West Coast, up north, whatever, calling Texas country.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
I don't remember that part, but I'm just watch the movie again. You know what? I can't hardly watch the movie sometimes. It was hard for me to watch.
So you get mad because it's not.
It wasn't so much mad. It was like, damn, that's a lot of lies.
That's what I mean.
When you there, first of all, me and DOC ain't never had a problem. Never. So I don't even know how that can be written into the movie. It might have been something.
You sure that wasn't talking about them New York niggas that they had kicked out of there?
No. That was not that time. It was all of them was in the studio chilling, whatever, and something. I guess DOC must have said something, whatever, and he was like, "Get that," and he's like, "I'm leaving anyway." That was right before he had the accident. He left, and then
that wasn't me. I was gone by then.
No. But you know how when he left, then not right after they didn't show the accident. It was like a couple things happened, so time passed, and then but that was the last time in the movie.
But it showed Alonzo saying that.
Yeah, it was
the last time. No. I'm sorry, baby. The last time I was in the movie, I walked out and I said, "No, you got it, Dre." That was my last scene in the movie.
Yeah, but right before you said that part. Right before you said that
they
part.
was in the studio at my house.
Right,
I gotta watch it again.
and DOC, right before you said that and you walked off, something happened with DOC and, DOC walked,
I have to watch it again because I don't remember
you said, "Get that country," and that's the reason why you said.
all of them. I said, "Yella, no, Dre."
And that's the reason why you said you got it, Dre.
I said that in the movie. Okay, they said, Dre, no.
So that you really did say that.
They do something I would say. That's for damn sure. Only one real one here is Eazy. Okay, I remember them saying that in the movie.
I seen that.
I can see that. I can see me saying that. Okay, because I know my guys, and you know your kids.
Yeah.
When you raise up, when you with somebody that much, you know who is the ones that's gonna be there for you if you need one. You know which one of your kids most likely to go out there and do something to somebody, and the other one gonna sit there and watch.
Wow. What was something in those parts that you feel would have brought essence to that category, whether it be by you or Dre or Eazy, anything that could have done something in that movie to where the history would be showing it in a way to where it would be something that really, really, really help somebody or encourage somebody. Something in there, something.
It wasn't. That's not even possible for that situation. That was glorifying the whole concept of the
But
group.
you got a lot of young niggas trying to make it in rap music. Maybe it was something there that could have gave a nigga a better chance.
When you look at certain movies, certain media situations, they only show certain parts of it. They don't show folks going to jail. They don't show the negative parts. They don't show that kind of stuff. They show all the fun, the money, the girls, the dope. They don't show the downside. Okay, folks is having medical issues, health issues. They don't show that kind of shit because it's not good entertainment.
When his mama slapped Dre, she said, "That's Alonzo stuff
That's
over
Alonzo
there."
Club.
Shit, what you doing over there with that nigga?
Alonzo on the club.
That was some real talk.
But you got to understand, like even in the movie, I was paying $50 a night, right? I had 4 DJs. I ran my club like a radio station. Somebody started at 9 to 12, 12 to 2, 4 to 6. 2 to 4. We'd open sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning. So collectively, I had so many different jobs. Yella was the only one that had multiple jobs in the club. So Yella he made a lot more than $50 a night.
What made Dre different than the rest of the DJs?
He was more creative. He was very creative.
You knew when he got on that.
He was creative. He was very creative when it came to doing his mixes and scratches. Okay. Now he wasn't the best long-term DJ. When it came to a long-term 3 or 4 hours, he wasn't as good as Yella. Yella could play a house party. Dre would have to shift. He'd have to break it up a little bit.
Do you regret not accepting and embracing the music back then? Because it showed that you did not embrace the movement.
No. You know what? And this is the biggest lie I've told. I never had a problem with the music. I only had a problem with the name.
You know they said you wanted that slow music on there. That before you turn off the light, that was you.
This is the same mistake everybody in the fucking world makes, okay? Do y'all realize this was 1986?
That damn R&B. That R&B was hard.
They was not fucking with gangsters yet.
That R&B was hard.
They was not fucking with gangster music. R&B was the shit. Look, as world-class wrecking crew, I had 2 missions in life. Where the camera at? I was trying to get paid and get laid. Fuck rapping for another nigga. I was not trying to rap for no nigga's attention. That was not the era. We was not into that shit yet. So for me to try to impress some other dude being hard, that ain't where I come from. I come from the dramatics, the delphonics. That's me. That's my musical genre. That was being accepted. That's what got me my record deal. That's what got me my airplay on radio station. Lovers, my first ballad, Lovers. My second one, Turn Off the Lights. We didn't get that much love on Surgery, Juice, and the other songs. So that became my lane. And I wasn't trying. Again, I was trying to impress the women. I wasn't trying.
Lovers was hard too.
Look, come on, man. Lovers got us more airplay than anything to Turn Off the Lights.
Turn Off the Lights was cold, man.
Okay.
It was cold, man. So it was hard to get away from that. I see what your problem was.
How do I abandon that? I had a Jerry curl. So fucking what, okay? I had a goddamn Jerry curl, okay? But again, you got to remember, we in the 80s, man. I'm opening up for the Mary Jane Girls, Barcades, More Stand the Time, Surface. I'm opening up for these kind of cats. Ain't nobody on stage with me with no tennis shoes on yet. Jordans hadn't even got popular yet.
Why you make them put on them damn suits, though?
I ain't make them put on
you
shit.
You put them damn skinny ass suits on them.
No.
It was you see, you had Dre standing there like this.
I didn't tell that nigga to pose like that.
Why you put them damn suits on that man?
Hold on. Again. We played with Ready for the World, Tony. We headlining over these motherfuckers. Back then, you had to have a costume of some type. Now, we could either went what we had on as world-class record crew, or we could have looked like Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5, wearing feathers and shit. Niggas don't talk about that shit. Niggas don't talk about that. Or like African Bambaataa in them goddamn spacesuits.
Yeah.
Nobody don't clown that shit. I don't understand that. I don't understand.
So you say you think you made the best choice?
I think I made a damn good choice, okay? I did not look like a goddamn spaceman or a motherfucking Indian, okay? Look at Flash. These are our only go-to people as an idea. This is one of the biggest groups. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. They got on these leather suits. They got on Indian moccasins and feathers and shit. Then you got Soul Sonic Force, African Bambaataa. They got all these goddamn big ass George Clinton suits and shit.
Yeah.
I can't do that. That ain't what we do in LA.
So you let them off easy.
We smoothed it out with the sequence. We smoothed it out with the satin and the sequence. That was our style.
What did you think when you heard Eazy-E diss the costumes?
Eazy
dissed the costumes.
Eazy was always clowning. Me and Eazy.
What was the verse he said? He said, he talked about the outfit. I remember. That's how
he talked about the outfit in the movie too.
But it was a song he had. He had songs where
he did have a song about that. But again, put it this way here. I was the first person Eazy went to for anything in his record career. It's just the guard shifted, dude.
He said he was a she thing. And back in the day, he was a she thing. You know, he put that picture up. I remember it.
I'm the one life is a picture shit. I know. They doctored the motherfucker up and put some extra shit on it and clowned him, okay? I wasn't in it. Man, I didn't give a fuck about that. Because I knew what I was working with, dude. My whole philosophy was, if y'all can sell it, if people gonna buy it, y'all keep selling it. I ain't got nothing to do with that, man.
Wow.
Where my money at?
Where my money
at? Okay.
So when you seen them go over and you seen the thing start to happen where it got real gangster, and you seen Suge Knight applying the pressure, and it was real gangster around everything that was going on with Dre and all of them.
Right.
Snoop was coming into the picture. You seen it from afar. You looking at it. You know these boys. Did you ever think, man, they getting in too deep with the way the street thing going?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
You know, coming from Compton, man, growing up in Compton, I grew up in the very beginning of the gang era. I left Centennial High School behind gang shit. I fought, I got chased, been shot at, all kind of shit. I knew that shit was not for me. So when I saw cats that I knew it wasn't for them try to get involved in it, I didn't think it was a very good idea. Because the people that I grew up with, I couldn't come from being a nightclub owner to a gangbanger at 29 years old. I done had a nightclub since I was 22. I was at Dudo's, which is a mecca. Dudo's is like, this is Dudo's, this is Pyru, okay? So I got a pass because I did not gangbang. I DJ'd parties in the front hood, so I understood the ramifications of playing these kind of games. So I never chose to play them games. Now I'm looking at brothers that I know never really played these games, not understanding what they're doing. Now, first of all, understand this. They initially were not gangster rappers. Let's get this straight. Think about this now. They were telling reality. They were doing reality raps.
See, cruising down the street in my 6'4".
It was gangster about that. So there was no reason for me to dislike the music, because what's wrong with that? My only issue that I've ever had with NWA was it stood for niggas with attitudes. Being a kid, being a person that was born in the 50s, I'm an old son of a bitch. I ain't never heard my daddy refer to a nigga as being anything but derogatory. So you can't. It's hard to rewire me into making that a term of endearment.
When you think about it, though, these guys are now going into a place where they're dealing with real live gang members.
Right.
They in these shows, they're represented. You're seeing the red flag, the blue flags pop up. You know where it come from. You live around it, but you've managed to stay away from it. But you see guys who you never seen in that format, in that whole line of sight with what was going on during the time. When you see this, you say, it concerns me because I know they're not built like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not even a part of that. They're not even. But now they're being pulled into that.
They're being pulled
Suge
into
Knight and them is. I heard from different sources that Suge wasn't really. Some people tell me he was. He was a football
player, but money gets you all kind of shit.
But money gets yourself. So he started affiliating himself with different people in the game. Allegedly, that's what I heard.
That was the flavor of the day, because see, when the gangs have always been in Compton, in L.A. We had the businessmen, we had the Slaughsons, we had various gangs back in the 60s. But they all fought for a reason, okay? When in the 80s, when the dope came in, because see, dope, we always had dope and gangs. And usually gangs and dope stay separate. But when the 80s came around, we got Reese's Pieces. We got the peanut butter and the chocolate together, baby. And now you got gangs and you got this dope that's available, that's affordable, and you got territories that's worth money. So now you got a whole nother level of gangbanger. When I was coming up, a kilo of cocaine was $30,000. It wasn't a young man's game. It wasn't until crack hit in the 80s, brought the price down, and then turned it into a youngster's game. And then the youngsters took it to a whole nother level with the machine guns and the drive-bys and the whole situation. And that made everything volatile. The whole city was volatile. And that was a game I damn sure didn't want to play. I don't like looking over my shoulder. That's just Alonzo.
Wow, Alonzo, I'm telling you right now, man, like I said when we first started, taking you out of the picture doesn't exist. Go ahead.
So, okay. So you said that because of your daddy and how he was. You didn't like that word. Okay.
I mean, I didn't like it.
But as time go along and you hear people using it so much more, how did you start feeling about it?
I eventually started using it. It's just at that time.
At that time.
For a group to be named Niggas with Attitude. I'm understand this. In 85, 86, I'm one of the senior players on the West Coast.
Right.
Ain't nobody done this before. Nobody ain't ever tried this before. So when you try to convince me, I'm dealing with Larkin Arnold, Gerald Busby, all these heavyweight people. Ain't nowhere in the world I can take these people, a group named Niggas with Attitudes.
Right.
Okay. R&B was too strong back then.
Because a lot of people did turn them down before.
A lot of people did.
They did actually get that break.
Money changes a lot of people's attitudes. So it was hard for me to do that because I knew the people I was working with. These guys are NAACP award-winning cats. They're not gonna let my black ass do it.
Right.
Okay. And if I had been the one to do it, now understand this. If I had been the one that brought them, I always figured that I would get ridiculed because I'm the senior guy in the group. I'm 8 years older than Dre, 12 years older than Q. So if I'm 28, this guy is 16, 22 years old. I'm supposed to teach him better than that. That's always been my upbringing. If you're the senior person in the group, you're supposed to lead by example.
Right.
You ain't supposed to be with the bullshit. So everybody's mama, because I ain't met
gonna be looking at you.
Wait a minute, let me say this right quick. I ain't met nobody's daddy yet. It's 2024. I have yet to meet Yella's daddy. I knew Dre's daddy, but I ain't talked to him since Dre came to work for me. I have never met Q's daddy. He's still alive, but I never met him. I knew all these people's mamas.
Because weren't most of them in single mama parent households?
Not necessarily, but some of them were. But I'm just saying, at no point in time have I ever met their dads. But everybody knew my dad. Everybody knew the guy that put me in the club, Jeff D. So these guys instilled a certain amount of responsibility to me because also you got to remember, my business is dealing with kids. I had a teen nightclub at 22 years old. People are bringing me their kids every Friday and Saturday night. 13, 14, when I do, at Eazy the Dark, it was more like 16, 17, but at Doodles, they was 13, 14 years old, bringing me their kids. Now, when you drop your kid off, you expect your kid to come out with one piece.
Right.
So that was my responsibility. So why would I change that responsibility, that sense of responsibility for the record industry?
And I had another thing about, when they came out with the song F the Police, how did you feel about that? Because I know there was a lot of controversy, especially when it first came and then they had the cease and desist. They didn't want, the police didn't want them or the government didn't want them to come out with that, to perform that song and stuff like that because they're scared of riots and stuff like that. How did you feel the first time when you heard that song on the radio?
Well, you know what? See, the difference in what I know and what average person don't know, one of the reasons why that song was written was because when they were at Audio Achievements, Eazy used to carry this sawed-off paintball gun. We all were paintball. We was doing paintball when it first came out. Me, Dre, Yella, Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, Arabian Prince, we all was in the paintball. So we go out, we went on tour, we go out Malibu, shoot paintballs, shoot white boys with paintballs. Eazy bought a paintball gun, but he never went to the game, never played with us. But he always took it around with him. He decided he was going to shoot at cars on the freeway with this paintball gun. So what he did not know is that right there on the same exit that you get off to go to Audio Achievements on Torrance Boulevard, there's a highway patrol station right there. So somehow or another, they got rolled up hard. And when they came back to my house, they was damn near crying because the police didn't put guns in their heads the whole 9 yards. Fuck the police, the mother, woo, 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 woo. And what y'all do, man? All we did was ride down the street and shoot up some cars with the paintball gun. Niggas say what?
But they didn't show that in the movie at all.
They're not gonna show that in the movie. Because you got to be there. They're not gonna show you that. They made them heroes. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not saying they zeros, but they made them extra heroes. But that was one of the incentives behind. They all came to the house because my house was ground central. Yeah. Everything. They left the studio. They came to my house, played their tapes, they cassettes in my stereo, blah blah blah, and they had me crying because the cops treated them real bad. Wow. And that was another catalyst for straight out of the Compton. I mean, fuck the police.
And that's what made them do it. They don't talk about it.
So they wrote it right then and there after that?
I don't know, but I know shortly after that, the song came out.
Because it seemed like, in the movie, you show multiple times when they were being harassed by the police.
At Audio Achievements.
Right. So it could have been, yes, that happened, but something else also could have happened after that.
It was part of the accumulated stuff that they experienced. But that right there was one of them situations I know for a fact. For them to come back, it was just pissed to no end. Fuck the motherfucking police. Woo, 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 woo. And when I heard the fuck the police, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Did you ever have any regrets when it come down to introducing Eazy to Jerry Heller?
No.
Because of the way the things spiraled.
Look, it was 1986, 86. And I was big dog. Me, Rudy, Egypt, we was all big dogs. We on the radio, we doing concerts. And Eazy wanted to meet Jerry. Jerry didn't want to meet Eazy. Contrary to what Jerry said, if he was here today, I'd tell him the same thing. He didn't want to meet him. It took me 3 or 4 times to approach Jerry to get him to meet Eazy.
Why he didn't want to meet him?
Because Eazy didn't carry himself like the rest of us did. We were all businessmen.
He's street.
He's street. I'm slacks and briefcases, and we looking like dope dealers, okay? But we selling records. We got that flavor. And he's not used to that. So when he finally did decide to meet Eazy walk up, tennis shoes, jeans, and he got a $5,000 in his fucking pocket, in his sock. And Jerry Heller pulled me. Me and Jerry was cool. He pulled me to the side and said, "Hey man, how does me, a Jewish guy from fucking Valley, deal with a group from Compton called Niggas with Attitudes?" And I told him very carefully.
Ruthless was the name. Okay. When was the first time you heard Eazy talk about Ruthless? Was it before he met Jerry?
Yeah.
So that was because I remember him telling Jerry about
Understand
it.
this.
When did you first hear him call the whole group Ruthless?
Everything Eazy did in the very beginning, he ran past me first. Everything.
So he talked to you. Tell me how that conversation went when he told you he was going to name the group Ruthless.
It wasn't so much
the label Ruthless.
Hey man, what's the name of the label? Ruthless Records. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
So he didn't go into detail. He just kind of throwed it out there.
I didn't understand the real reason. The person that drew his logo was the same guy that drew all my album covers.
I remember you saying that.
All the album covers for Surgery Juice, Surgery Juice. He did the same guy did all the artwork. Okay. Same lawyer that did my contract, did Eazy's first contract.
Yeah.
So I'm the one taking him over to Audio Achievements. Hey man, this is Eazy. He wants to do some projects over here. He was using my studio for the demo studio. That's all I had was a demo studio.
Okay.
But so we had a different relationship, but we always clowned each other because he's a funny motherfucker and so am I. So we would go back and forth just on the GP because I could hang with his ass, he could hang with me, and after the end we dap it out. We know whatever, man, fuck you, all right, fuck you. It was no big deal. So people sometimes thought we didn't like each other.
Yeah.
It was never that, okay? He would frustrate me because he never wanted to give me my goddamn money, but he finally paid me. But he was always cool. In fact, after all the said and done, he was the only one that came back to my house and kicked it after he was famous.
So he came back to you.
He came by the pad, and he would come by the pad to meet his bodyguards.
Never had a sign of AIDS or none of that.
Nah, he was at my house maybe 2 months before he got sick.
And you never seen no signs. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories out here that says that he was, of course, Suge talked about, hit him with a little bit of Eazy-E. Right. And then you had other people that kind of felt like this stuff was done, in a way that it was strategically done to get him in that condition. What do you say to that?
Man, you know what? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I've talked to folks close to him, and they definitely feel something suspicious has happened. I can't speak on it, Doc.
You wouldn't know.
I wish I could, man.
But it hurt you.
It hurt, dude, because he was a good dude. Ruthless sent me checks. I was like the Ruthless hitman. I mean, a liaison for Compton. Anything was going on with Jerry or Eazy in Compton, Alonzo handled it for me. Okay, so that was kind of my responsibility for me to work with them.
So when I look at you one of the dopest dudes when it come down to history. Like I told you, I'm definitely gonna be. Anytime coming up here to LA, I got to come see you.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I respect what the part you played in this whole thing. Eazy-E Street. This is something I heard since it was a year since me and you sat down.
Yeah.
Like, How did you guys get that done? You know, it's not easy to get. We just seen. I think it's Birdman. They just gave him a key to the city of New Orleans.
Right.
How did you guys get the ball rolling when it come down to Eazy Street? Eric Wright Street. Was it Eazy? Y'all did it.
It's Eazy Street.
That's hard.
It's Eazy Street.
In Compton.
It's in Compton. It was something, man, that was attempted before by Omar Bradley, the former mayor. I dealt with him a lot in regards to Eazy when he was the mayor. Okay, they was going to do an Eazy Street then. It didn't happen for whatever reason, but they did get an Eazy Day in Compton. And I figured with it being the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and me being the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, this might be a good time to try it again. And I did. And because I just saw JJ Fad get a street out in their home.
Wow.
I'm like, JJ Fad got a street before Eazy?
Tupac got a street.
Well, see, I'm going to say something about these streets, okay? Getting the street ain't easy, okay? It ain't easy, all right? First of all, the way we did it, we chose the street that had no physical addresses attached to it.
Okay.
Because one of the problems is you got to get people to sign off, then they got to go change their driver's license, they got to change yeah! So like, what happens is you get a lot of honorary streets. Okay, you'll see the street still has the same name, but on top of the sign, it's so and so Boulevard, okay, or so and so way in honor of so and so. This right here is changed. It's going to be changed on MapQuest, everything else. So that was a little bit more difficult, but man, it was just one of those things. I thought it came up for the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and everybody loved the idea, and so I just had to carry the ball. That's all. It was a little tricky for a minute. But when I told the city council, I went to the city council, a member of the city council person, Miss Darden, good friend of mine, and she liked the idea. And she's a senior member on the city council. She might be in her late 70s.
Wow.
But she got it.
But you look at you guys getting the street named after Eazy, then fast forward to the top of the year and being able to receive was it a Grammy? Was it a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award?
Yeah.
I seen it, and I seen Eazy's mother up there,
Miss Wright.
I seen his son.
Yeah.
I seen who else was up there?
DOC.
It was somebody else up there too.
Yella Ren
and Q.
Yeah.
Dre didn't make it.
He had another engagement.
Okay, how did that make you feel to see that?
Man, I was in the audience, dude. Yella made sure I was there. And
how did Yella? He called you. He was like, "Come on, man, you got to check this out."
No. He said, man, we getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. If you want to be there, let me know. Hell yeah, I want to be there.
You need to be there.
Yeah, and I was sitting there. I felt like I was watching my kids getting some major shit. Man, you gotta people don't understand when you damn near raise people. Okay, I mean, I'm getting Cube in my house. He's like 15, 16 years old. Yella came to me. He might have been 20. Okay, he was snatching down posters for me. DOC came to me from Texas. Ren was at the house, but again, I don't remember that well, but that's okay. When you see guys that you have been a part of their career from day one achieve a status like that right there, you can't help but feel good for them, man. You can't help but feel some kind of special behind that shit, dude.
Did you realize the magnitude of writers you had in Ice Cube and DOC being at your house at the same time?
No.
Them boys was bad,
They was bad. Cube wrote Cabbage Patch.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He wrote Cabbage Patch for us. Yeah. But again, you got to understand, dude, I'm 27. This kid's 15. He barely should be around me, okay? Today, that 15-year-old dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but again, because I was always in mentor mode. I was never in nothing else but mentor mode. So
you can tell that too, because ain't nothing crazy been said. Everything been solid, and all them kids loved. The only thing they say was you was hard on them about the transition of the music.
I was hard. Let me say this. Cube did an interview recently with CJ Mack and
Dub C. Yeah, shout out to them boys. I talked to man.
They mentioned when we left CBS, we all did EPs. Right? We did the House Calls EP. And they did the CIA's EP. They wanted to call themselves Crew in Action, Criminals in Action. I said, no, y'all can't be criminals, y'all can be crew. And it wasn't because of anything that I had against criminals is just that you 15 years old. Your mama lets you come to my house on a regular basis. How in the fuck I'm gonna let you become a criminal? If that shit don't go up, I'm the one they looking at.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the one they look. You let my 15-year-old baby call himself a criminal. I wonder. I never met. Like I said, I never met their daddies. I had to deal with their mamas.
Yeah.
That was even worse. Your mama trusted you to come to my house on a regular basis. I can't do nothing.
Let me ask you this.
To watch you.
Did all the mothers, hold on, did all the mothers know you personally?
All the mamas know me.
So each one of them, from Ice Cube, Dr. Dre.
Ice Cube's mama, Dre,
Eazy.
Eazy. I just met Eazy's mom on doing
the rest of them.
The rest of them.
Ren, Yellow.
Not Ren. Miss
Yellow.
I used to take Yellow to pick his mom up from. She used to work at Martin Luther King Hospital. I take him to pick her up. Okay, Verna, Dre's mama lived. Her and my older sister was cool. So it's like that. These people been knowing me all close and personal.
And Dr. Dre's uncle worked at your club.
Dr. Dre's uncle worked at my club. Dr. Dre's dad lived down the street from me.
But you just never spoke to him.
I never spoke to him. He was older than I was. I knew him, but we didn't hang out.
I understand that.
See what I'm saying? So, but once Dre came to work with me, I never saw him again. But again, all these people, all these youngsters are in my custody.
And the mothers had the respect.
They know who to come looking for. That's Alonzo's ass.
Wow. Okay.
So I want you to give me a story about Q, because I'm sure back then. Give me a story about him. Something that maybe you never told.
You know what? Cube was the coolest kid. Cube, KD, and Jinx. Jinx got on my goddamn nerves because he's always dancing.
You know KD, I got him coming today.
That's my dude.
I got him coming today.
That's my dude.
I tried to express him to one of these other California dudes. They didn't know him. I said, man, KD was rocking with Ice Cube hard.
Yes, they was all in CIA.
That's right.
So
they were in Stereo Crew. I got them signed to Epic, and then when we all got dropped like nuclear waste, we came back to Crew Cut, and they formed CIA, and we was Wrecking Crew again, and all three of them cats was at my house on a regular basis. I just interviewed KD on my show not long ago.
Really?
These are my dudes, man. Still cool. Q, that's what I'm saying. I don't have no negative stories about these because they was all kids.
That's right.
And they respected me. Okay, they was youngsters that they didn't, they wasn't out there fighting and hoop banging and bullshit because I didn't tolerate that shit at my house. I've never had a fight at my house. I had Bloods, Crips. It made no damn difference. SA, look, this is my house. Y'all can't respect it. Get the fuck on. We about one thing: music and money.
I didn't want a negative story. I just wanted to hear something.
I remember when he got banked up in the school. I remember when he had a fight at Washington, and he came over and he had a big ass black eye. That was about all.
Cube had a black eye. How old was he? About 15?
About 15, 16.
Then got hit.
He got hit. He got took off. He got took off on him.
Nigga took flight. Just
hopefully he punched. He gave some black eyes.
I think it was a 1-2. 1-2. But again, he was 15 years old. This is something I remember it because that was one of the few things I remember him getting hit in the eye at school, and we ended up taking karate lessons after that.
What?
Yeah, Dre's stepfather was a black belt.
So y'all all was over there.
We all in the backyard. That's real shit.
That's good stuff right there.
Real shit.
Man, so, all right. So, man, you got the network. What you got? What's the name of it?
The Compton Entertainment Channel. It's available on all platforms. You can download it on your iPhone or your Android.
Wow.
My documentary.
You got a documentary?
After the Super Bowl.
Okay.
2022. That was such a big deal for us, man, because Compton has just put Compton back on the map again. And I was already working on the documentary, and one of my boys, Velo, shout out to Velo, David Stewart, we got at me that, man, we ought to do a documentary on this thing. And we did it, man, and we did it in like a year. And we put it in film festivals, and we kicked ass in every film festival. This time last year, we were like the opening documentary for the Pan-African Film Festival that's going down in L.A., left there, went down to another film festival, kicked ass. We just did last film festival we did was in September in Sacramento. Everywhere we go, we the top two. Wow. 1 or 2 documentaries, and we got picked up by Amazon Prime. Please go check it out, folks. It's $1.99.
I got to check it out.
It's $1.99 to rent, $4 to buy, but $4.99 to buy. But it'll show you a lot of stuff that you don't know about West Coast hip hop.
Wow.
See, the Eve After Dark was 1520 Sedgwick for the East Coast, for the West Coast. Okay, just like some people call me the cool herc of the West Coast. Eve After Dark was that spot where folks went to, and it wasn't just about rappers. We had D.L. Hughley was come through. Robin Harris was one of my.
Robin Harris come through.
He was my regular MC before he blew up.
Wow.
See, I've always been engaging like that, dude. It's just hip hop. I'm a funny motherfucker, but I ain't funny enough to be a comedian. So
you had comedians coming through there.
Comedians cool.
Faison didn't never come through there.
He couldn't fit the dope.
Whoa. Shout out Faison, that's my boy. But because he loved Robin Harris.
Yeah.
That guy was dope, man. He was before his time.
All his test tube baby jokes.
You heard them all first.
They came at Eve first. It's a segment, and his wife did a segment about that whole transition of our relationship. You know, wow. Robert would come through, get us some gas money. He'd go do the other clubs. Back then, you could do that, but you $20, you can go eat and have gas money all night long. Man, okay,
how much was gas a gallon back then?
Man, like maybe 79
89, 79, boy. Ooh.
If you had a Cadillac, you had to put the 89 in there, okay? Get ethyl. Yeah, put the ethyl in there. Okay?
Well, man, I appreciate you, man, as usual, man. Anytime I'm up here, man, thank you so much for spending time with us. You know I can't come do it. You called me. I'm glad you called me yesterday. I was like, man, I got to get this dude through here, man. I can't come up here and not sit down with you, man.
I got something for him right now.
Talk to me.
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold. I own the Eve After Dark 50-yard line Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that bullshit, 'cause it was all Hollywood cap. My history goes deeper than you'll ever know. But just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Man, thank you for coming on Boss Talk 101, man. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101 where the bosses talk.